Hey everybody, it's Jack and welcome back. Today I have another penny stock analysis and review. This is one I'm really excited about. It's in the renewable sector, which I'm extremely bullish on, and it's seeing some extreme growth already, which I think will just continue into the future. This is one that I think will continue to grow over the next few decades. Yes, we're talking decades, so this is not one you're going to want to miss. I'll be diving into the background and business model of the company. I'll also be looking over the company's financials and going through the latest quarterly report. At the end, I'll give my final thoughts on whether or not I think the stock is a buy, and if it is, at what price point and what time horizon. So I hope you guys enjoy. Let's dive right in. As I go over the stock in depth, I'm going to be using a 4-item checklist. This is just a really quick way that you can analyze a stock to see if it's potentially a good buy for you. The first item on the checklist is going to be the overall product or offering of the company. Is it something that I can believe in? And that also, is it in a market, a good market that I think has growth potential? So that's item number 1 on the checklist. Item number 2 is going to be the revenue. Has the revenue been growing year over year? Or at least in the last year, has the revenue seen a good increase? With the same thing for item number 3, but for income, has the profit or income of the company been seeing growth? Gonna make sure that the income has seen consistent growth and is going in the right direction, up. And the final item on the checklist, item number 4, is gonna be the current assets to current liabilities ratio. So is the current assets greater than the current liabilities? It's just kind of a good way to see the risk of the company and to make sure the company has overall good financial well-being. If anything were to go south, is the company in a good position to be able to succeed through that? Or is it gonna go belly up? So again, to reiterate, these are just 4 quick checklists to make sure that the company's in good standings and potentially one that I would consider buying. So we're going to look into the 4 items. So the company I'll be analyzing today is Greenlane Renewables, ticker symbol GRN. And at the time of filming this video, it is currently trading at $2.27 a share and has a market capitalization of just over $300 million. But before we dive too much into the stock price and stock chart, let's first look at the company and who they are. Greenlane Renewables is a company in the renewable energy sector, which if you've seen any of my previous videos, you know I'm extremely bullish on for the long term. Greenlane focuses specifically on renewable natural gas solutions, otherwise known as RNG. So what exactly is renewable natural gas and how can it be used? Well, renewable natural gas, or RNG, is a 100% renewable substitute for regular natural gas. Anywhere that natural gas is used, 1-to-1 switch out can be used with renewable natural gas. So what exactly is Greenlane's product or offering? Well, organic materials such as manure, crops, food waste, and landfills, as they break down and decompose over time, they release harmful emissions such as methane or carbon dioxide into the atmosphere. And this is exactly where Greenlane Renewables comes in. They've built custom technology and architecture to offer a solution that captures these harmful biogases and converts them into biomethane, which is what is known as that renewable natural gas, which can then be injected right into regular natural gas pipelines or used in alternative methods such as vehicle fueling. So again, Greenlane is that key step in the middle, that biogas upgrading, which creates that 100% renewable natural gas solution. Greenlane Renewables is an industry leader when it comes to the renewable natural gas sector, and they're really helping solve a real-world problem with the renewable energy solution, and they say it perfectly here. Renewable natural gas is to the natural gas grid what wind and solar are to the electricity grid. They provide these biogas upgrading systems that help solve 2 of the largest and most difficult to decarbonize sectors, the transportation sector and the natural gas grid. The world is starting to decarbonize, and even some of the biggest players in the oil and gas industry have started to make promises about reducing greenhouse gas emissions over the next few decades. They'll have to find a way to sustain their overall supply of energy and gas, and that's exactly where renewable natural gas and the need for it will come in. The market for sustainable solutions and net zero emissions is only going to grow over the next few decades and is estimated to grow in the double digits year after year. Not only is it a growing market, but Greenlane has positioned itself perfectly to capture this growth. They're the only company currently offering 3 different biogas upgrading technologies that can be customized to fit any renewable natural gas need. Most importantly, Greenlane Renewables is an industry leader when it comes to renewable natural gas, having over 110 plus systems delivered globally in over 18 countries and they were first to market in 11 of those 18 countries. Greenlane is the leading supplier in the world when it comes to renewable natural gas, and the only one to offer 3 different systems. This is an amazing competitive advantage that Greenlane has over its other competitors. Because of this advantage, Greenlane has been seeing amazing revenue growth, growing by 50% each quarter over the last 3 quarters. Not to mention that they currently have a sales backlog of over $45 million waiting for them in job, and a complete estimated sales pipeline of over $720 million. This is crazy. They have jobs lined up that could fulfill their backlog for years to come. Oh, and did I mention that they have 0 debt on their books? Like, it's crazy. And let's check out their management team, as that is super important with any company. Starting at the top with the president and CEO, Brad, who has a 25-year career in the natural gas industry, where he worked at a natural gas vehicle company. For 8 of these years, he worked as the vice president. So he has great leadership and industry experience. Next, we have the CFO, Linda, who has over 20 years of financial experience and who was already the CFO previously of another global renewable energy company. So again, you've got both the industry experience and the technical experience. Another thing you guys know I look for when it comes to management is insider ownership, or how much of the company does the upper management own. With Greenlane Renewables, the management or insider ownership makes up 16% of the company, which is again great to see. You want to see a company where the management has skin in the game. So if we jump back over to our checklist, I think we can go ahead and check mark good company or product. We've shown that there is a need in the market for this kind of solution, and it's a renewable, sustainable solution that solves a real world issue. I think we can also check mark revenue growth, as we've shown that quarter after quarter for the last 3 quarters, they have grown their revenue quite well, not to mention the huge sales backlog that they have. Let's hop into their latest financial report to go over income growth as well as current assets to current liabilities. So here is the income and revenue section of the quarterly report for quarter 3 of last year, 2020. Quarter 4 report does not come out till end of March, so we're looking at the latest one, which is quarter 3. We want to focus primarily on the last line of the document, which is net income in brackets is loss. So any number you see in brackets is a loss. Anything not in a bracket is a positive, is a gain, profit. So we can see that in quarter 3 of 2020, Greenlane Renewables walked away with a net profit or net income of $743,000. And this was actually their first profitable quarter to date. Comparing quarter 3 of 2020's net income to quarter 3 of 2019, we can see a huge difference. In quarter 3 of 2019, the company lost $1.75 million, but in quarter 3 of 2020, they are net positive by $750,000. So a huge difference. And the same thing with the trailing 9 months. You can see the huge difference in profitability of Greenlane Renewables. So we can go ahead and check off income or profit growth. As we've seen, it's moving in the right direction, and Greenlane Renewables has just had their first profitable quarter. All right, so finally, let's look at the current assets to current liabilities ratio. And this is a great way just to quickly tell if something were to happen to the company today, would they be able to survive it, and would they be okay? So the total current assets for Greenlane Renewables is $12,354,000. And then we divide that by our total current liabilities, which is $12,612,000. That gives us our ratio, which is 0.98, which ideally we want to see this ratio above 1, which means they have more current assets than current liabilities. But this is pretty much right around 1, so it's not too big of an issue. Ideally, the bigger this number is, the better. So technically, Greenlane Renewables fails the current assets to current liabilities ratio, but I will put an asterisk because it's as pretty darn close as you can get to a ratio of 1, being it was 0.98. So there we can see that Greenlane Renewables passed 3 out of 4 items on my checklist. Basically 4 out of 4, the ratio was just under 1. So basically 4 out of 4. But how has its share price been doing over the last little while? Let's check that out. As mentioned earlier, Greenlane Renewables is trading at $2.27 a share and trades under the ticker symbol GRN. If we look at the 6-month chart, we can see that Greenlane Renewables has had some extreme growth over the past 6 months already, going from around 50 cents a share up to where it currently stands at $2.27. So some pretty crazy growth already. And we can see that over the last month or so, it's kind of flattened out and lost a little bit of the momentum. But if we look at the past month, we can see that it's actually currently trading down over the last few weeks as the market has gone down. It was at 286 and it has dropped around 20% down to where it currently stands. So if it was able to get back to that all-time high of 286, you're looking at 25 to 30% growth if it only gets back to that 286 mark. But like I've shown, I think Greenlane Renewables has a much higher ceiling than 286. This is a sustainable, renewable natural gas company that is leading the industry and first to market. Not only is Greenlane a market leader, but the market as a whole is supposed to be seeing extreme growth over the next 1, 2, or 3 decades. We're talking decades of growth for the overall market in the sustainable, renewable natural gas market. Not to mention that Greenlane Renewable already has a huge sales backlog ready to go of jobs that people want them to fulfill. They've got $45 million in backlog already. So my final thoughts, I think at the current price, Greenlane Renewable is a great buy. I personally have just bought a starter position at $2.28 into Greenlane Renewables. I plan to add it to this position. I do recommend dollar cost averaging your way into this because we might still see a little bit of a decline over the next week or so, depending on the overall market. It's quite volatile right now. So I would tread with caution. When you're getting into Greenlane Renewables, I wouldn't dive all in. I would definitely dollar cost average your way into this stock, but this is definitely one that is going to see extreme growth over the next few decades. We're talking decades. So this is a no-brainer for me. I personally love this stock and it's moving in the right direction. I'm super bullish on renewables and this fits perfectly with that. So with all that being said, I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I'm probably going to be doing this kind of video once a week where I go over a penny stock, review it, analyze it. So drop your penny stock tickers down below. What do you want me to cover in upcoming videos? And again, I hope you enjoyed. If you did, please smash that like button, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already to keep up to date with all my latest content. I'll see you in the next one.